Okay. Hi everyone. Hi listeners. Um, Today we're going to be having a Valentine special where we'll be having discussions that's going to keep you thrilled and glued to your skin, to your screen rather. So what I'm going to tell you is if you have a popcorn or juice beside, get it, pull it closer, and make this your watch for the next 1 hour. All right, we are three who will be having a banter. We called it a banter. It's going to be interesting. All right. My name is Abigail Lasende, the clinical psychologist and lead therapist at Bellwet Mind Clinic. And with me here is
My name is Motolani Akintayo. People usually call me MC Motolani, the clinical psychologist. All right, I'm the managing director with Diamond More Psychological Consults and also the principal with Sort Out Ladies International. Thank you for having me on the show this afternoon. Happy Valentine in advance.
you're welcome. Thank you. All right, and to our lodgy in the house.
Oh, my name is Edward Steven. I believe I'm the only male in the house today. You're all welcome. I'm a clinical psychologist in Adelaide University, that's Admiralty University, the Hall University in Nigeria.
Mr. Edward, is it possible to, without your AirPod, want to compare and contrast if the audio will be very clear? Can you hear our voice clearly from your screen?
I can hear your voice clearly. Okay, let me put up the iPod to know if the audio will be okay.
Yes, please. Let's compare and contrast. Thank you. So while Edward is doing that, let me keep you, our listeners, let me keep you glued to you, keep your ears glued to the screen. Somebody's blushing.
Somebody's actually dancing.
All right, Edward, let's know when you're fully back.
All right. I don't know. Can you hear me clear now?
Yes,
Much
it is.
better.
And are you
But
enjoying the music
I
from
was
there?
the music.
Yes.
Well, it's a little bit faint.
Oh, it's
Nevertheless,
faint.
um, since she's dancing, I believe the music will be interesting. What was the
Oh
title of the
my.
song?
So the listeners will actually not be able to hear the song. It's because you don't know the
Um,
song. If you do, you would have gotten the lyrics.
well, maybe because I'm not hearing the song very well, I think.
Okay.
Well,
All
yeah.
right. So listeners, welcome back to the show. And I want you to know that this show is being anchored and organized by Fikun Trust. And you could follow them on Facebook. That is Well and Wealthy Woman. And their goal is another life is possible. All right. So, Edward, I have a question I would love to ask you. And the question is going to be a very interesting one. Our listeners are waiting to hear your response. Tomorrow is Valentine, 14th of February, regardless of the time zone in different countries. Anytime that is their 14th of February, in as much as they celebrate Valentine, it's going to be Valentine. But I see you have a knack for community and support. So, in view of Valentine tomorrow, how can we better support our loved ones and their mental health throughout this year? Also, what are some ways to foster a supporting and loving community?
Thank you very much.
Also,
Can you hear me?
also, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Thank you very much. Your question, I believe you want to know. Okay. You're wanting to know how we can better support our community, or that's the health of our loved ones as regards to their mental health.
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. It's wonderful. Thank you. You know, tomorrow is Valentine, as you said, quite okay. A period where the younger ones say love in the air. The married couples are like, okay, what are you going to get me? So on. Okay, how to me, I feel to better our community, it's the mental health of a community, it's when people tend to put away um, the sense of self, okay? The sense of self and relate to others freely out of inner love by sharing gifts to, your neighbors. You can just send flowers to your neighbors, that lonely old lady who is in your neighborhood. You can pay him a visit. Oh, sorry, pay her a visit, and maybe share cookies. In our own Nigerian culture here, we may not share cookies, but you might fry dodo and give to them. What I'm trying to put out here is there should be synergy, checking on each other, all right, will tend to boost their mental health and their well-being. Because when you check on someone, you take time to check on somebody, know how the person is doing, if you can either help the person one way or the other to assist the person get one thing or the other, the person, will be glad in her heart. And such, the person, there will be less thought of the people don't care about me, the society don't care about me, but to resonate kind of a gladdened heart of joy to know that
If
people
I'll
around.
pick it up from what Edward said, Edward is actually making a very great point there. Being a clinical psychologist, I guess one of the clients that I saw today ended the therapy by saying, tomorrow is Valentine, but I'm having a very bad marriage. Who is going to be my boyfriend? And then, and that explains exactly what Edward was trying to say there. Because for some people, yes, the Valentine atmosphere is in the air, but there are deep things that are eating them really hard, which is making them feel so sad about what we call Valentine. And I think that this time is actually the time we can reach out to them, like Edward said, to the newly divorced person, to the person who has just been recently heartbroken, to the person who is going through a traumatic situation or event. It's time, just like what Edward said. I had to just corroborate that with the practical example of what I just experienced with the client today.
But that part of we reaching out to them and all, how can we put a dichotomy, or how can we be careful when it comes to gender? Because I remember when Edward was speaking, he said she or he, and then he said rather she. So I see he was trying to play a smart one there. So now a female to a male flower, a male to a female flower. Edward, from the male perspective, what will you say? Let's assume that you are a single man, you're not married, and then a beautiful lady wants to share love to you, brings you flower. What would be the first thing to come to your mind?
Well, actually, that scenario actually depends on the perception the man has or the lady, the motive behind it. Quite okay is Valentine and a period where the individuals are meant to show love. Okay. To me, I don't see it as a bad thing either. being a neighbor or somebody, being a neighbor in the same neighborhood, or even in the office, a colleague in the office, and in quotes, a very pretty lady brings a gift, hey, chocolate,
You
Valentine
think so,
Day.
Edward?
Yeah,
You really think so? I think that's cultural
yeah,
sensitivity
probably
because
there may
that's
not be
cultural.
any string attached to
You know
it,
why I
just for
said
the
that,
occasion,
Edward? Do you know why I
yeah,
said
it's
that?
it's, it's a
Do you
nice
know why I
one,
said
but
that? Because
I
in
don't
this part
think
of our world, in this part
uh,
of our world, Edward, can you hear me? In this part of our world, you're very right. But then we have to look at it vis-a-vis culture, right? In this part of our world, even when you're not thinking anything as a man, right? And a lady from the blues just comes to give you a flower. My people, we add 1 + 1 to 1 and then give you 2. So, but then on a platonic purpose, I understand you practically well. But then we have to also be very careful so that somebody is not insinuating what you are not insinuating.
Exactly.
Please, okay, we shouldn't be paranoid about it. Be over careful about it. Hey, come on. On ordinary day, she doesn't, or he wouldn't. But just because of the fun of the environment. Okay, if I want to digress a little, say Christmas, you get somebody dishing you chin chin or fried
That's
chicken, even
Christmas, Edward. This is
when
Valentine. This is love in the
you
air.
never even
This is
asked for.
love in
So
the air.
Valentine,
That's
something
Edward,
like
Christmas.
that,
just
just to
tell
share
us that
love,
you are
commemorate
giving a
the
female a
event in
flower
the air.
tomorrow.
The
Just
atmosphere,
tell
to
us
be
you
able
have
to
a
talk to
flower for
some.
a female tomorrow. That will end the discussion.
Is that a yes? You have flower for a female tomorrow? Oh, don't worry. You can wait. Don't wait build the flower to me. Just send me the money. I'll buy the flower myself.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
So I
that's a
have a
nice
number
one.
of
That's a
questions
nice one.
here, and one of the striking questions for me that I really want to get going with Abigail because she's been our proper on this show, and she's been asking us questions. We need to really dig it in for her. So it's your turn. So tell me exactly what the most romantic gesture you have ever received or you have given to someone.
Wow.
Caught you on the spot. Caught you
All right.
on the spot.
On the red seat, let me sit well. Let me sit well.
On the red seat, wearing a red gown.
Let me sit well.
Yeah, even dressing like Valentine. Look at you. You're in the atmosphere already. Edward, she should have just told us. Edward, she should have told us that we should go on red,
Yeah.
and that would have just helped things.
So, Edward, you can send the money of the flower to me. I'll get the flower myself.
Okay, all right. So, what's the most romantic gesture you have ever received or that you have given?
I think that should be that should be 2017. Yeah, 2017.
Yeah. It's a movie now. It's going. They are listening.
2017. Actually, accompanied a friend for a show that was in Lagos. She's a dancer, and I always hear her say, "I'm going for a show. I'm going for a show." I was eager to get to know what the show is about. Fast forward, I was feeling cold. Everyone was cold, and this cute guy actually
It's actually a cough. Okay.
actually removed his coat and placed it around my shoulder.
I
was like, this is the movies.
That's touching. But then, Edward, shouldn't we ask her if the guy didn't insinuate anything and was just trying to be caring? What do you think?
Yeah, he was trying to be caring. You don't need to insinuate anything. Just
Let
that
Edward
just
talk.
that I couldn't
Don't
get
try
his
to
contact.
defend. Let Edward talk. He's the man here. Let Edward talk. Don't try to defend anything. Edward, over to you.
Yeah, to me, I feel that particular act is gentlemanly. Guy might not have anything in mind or behind his sleeve, just noticing that a lady close to her or a lady they attended a program with or a cinema with is feeling cold. And, just lending a hand. There's nothing bad about that. And there may be not
And
be
do
any.
you know that a lot of times a number of people are falling victims of seemingly reading the minds of people, and then they get held over in love with them, thinking that the messages that they are passing to them means I love you, I'm trying to be romantic with you, and all of that. And I think it's one of those things that I want people to watch out for in this season. Don't jump to conclusion just because somebody's giving you extra attention, except when it is well defined. Can you really say that, okay, this is this person's intention for me? Okay, so I want to ask you another question, Abigail. So do you believe in love at first sight, or you believe in let's walk by again?
I wouldn't say love at first sight because love itself is deep. It could be infatuation at first sight. Edward, are you
Really?
sure? Yes. It could be
Really?
infatuation at first sight.
Edward has an alternative opinion to that.
But to me, like love at first sight, over time it might grow, it might not grow, it might wither. So it's at first sight to me, it might just be like a sugar rush. It now depends if it is well watered, if it is gardened and taken care of.
Well, I think I have a different opinion regarding to that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think I have a different opinion regarding to that. Why? Because um when you meet someone that suits your spec, I expect meeting the person the first time. It's not love at first. It's not factuation or the way you put it. The person may truly love this person, the way the person walk, the figure, the way the person expresses himself or herself. You know, um, love at first sight is actually real. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
know
is
couples.
real, but I think it's individual based on individual's definition.
Now let me say this. Let me say this. I don't know if I should call it love at first sight, but bringing it down to my own case study and scenario. The first time I saw my husband, well, you can say I loved him. You can say
Okay.
it was at first sight, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm married to him now. Right? So I wouldn't entirely say that love at first sight isn't possible. But what I would say is that even when it is possible, you don't place your entire decision on it. So you should check if what you are loving is best for you.
Exactly.
So a lot of times people like what they say. What I felt for my husband the first time I saw him, I usually say I had a soft spot because I didn't initiate the proposal at the end of the day. I had that soft spot at first, but I never told him about it. Little not knowing that he also had the same okay, yeah, but his own, it was other on him, so I'll say add spot. So but times rolled by, we got to study each other, and then something led to something, another thing led to another
nice
thing,
one.
and then today we are married. So meeting somebody at the first instance and liking the person is possible, but you can't entirely say that this is what you are going to base your decision on. All right.
Edward, you're about to say something?
Well, um, they said is it light reaction, repel, unlike repel, and like contract or something like that. Okay. To me, I like the idea of the point, you get to know someone a bit better. But I think I have a different perspective in terms of this, the first sight. All right. Actually, this is my 10th year anniversary by February. This February 8th. No, not February. April 18th. I'll be 10 years.
You actually forgot the anniversary for
what do you mean? If it happens, what do you mean?
I was actually like
I'm
February.
supporting you.
April 18. Okay. How did we meet? After service, people say you meet someone, you now spend years in courtship and so on. Mine was pretty different. Okay. After service, came to my cousin's place, and in church, I met this lady. We're both in sanitation department where we clean the church. And hey, guess what? And I met her. I was like, yeah. And she too, when she met me for the first time, there was this,
connection.
Love at first sight, actually. Yeah, there was this connection. Thank you.
Yeah.
There was this connection. You understand. And guess what? From the time we met and introduced ourselves till to the point where we went for this side of Africa, we did traditional marriage, is 3 months. Can you believe that?
I believe.
My dad and mom too, theirs was about 3 months before they got married.
I believe.
Yeah.
I believe absolutely.
Months straight, we got married. And hey, we have been living together for the past Okay, this is our 10th year anniversary, and the love grows every
Ooh,
day.
I hope you are
Yeah,
taking her to the moon tomorrow. I hope you are taking
to
her
the
to the moon tomorrow.
the moon is closed. Why should I be aiming at the moon when I can aim
So,
at the stars? Don't you understand?
you're a big character, Edward. Okay, so let me ask. I think you should ask me question.
Okay.
Yeah, let the ball roll back.
Okay. So I should ask you a question.
All right. Oh my God.
All right. I think the question I'll be asking you. Okay. How do you? What's happening?
Nothing. I'm
Are
just
you-
expecting your
Are you
question.
not ready to answer the question?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. How do you practice self-love and self-care, especially on Valentine's Day?
Oh, interesting. Well, I like the question you are posing to me because I like to talk from the practicality of what I do. I don't like to speak theory. I don't like to speak what I've read in books, but I like to speak what I do. So when you talk about self-care, and on Valentine's Day, I don't believe that self-care should just come on Valentine's Day.
Why are you saying what I've already said? Why did I ask you this question first? You know I picked that.
Was I in your mind?
No.
I was just gently doing my thing.
No.
I was not in your
I
mind.
think I need to ask you. Actually, if I ask you this question,
On a more serious note, personally, self-care should not just be on Valentine's. There are times that my husband will just call me and then he'll say, Motolani, where are you? And by the time I'm smiling, he's like, okay, you have this itchy. You mentioned the name of the person, and I'm all itchy, and I'm all laughing. Why? You don't need to wait for somebody to take you out on any particular day. You must learn how to take care of yourself. I'm not saying that it's wrong for people to take you out. I'm not saying it's wrong to have a workout on your own. There are times you
Yeah,
need
I
to take
quite
care
agree
of
with
your.
you.
Yes,
Yeah.
you need to take care. And I do that a whole lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes I walk through nature. What I mean by that is it could be an evening walk where I feel the breeze, the atmosphere, nature is blowing at my face. There are times that I go out for movies, I see movies and all that. I tell you, I can be a workaholic, but then I understand the power of self-care. Our brain needs this to rejuvenate at every point in time. So as much as, yes, Valentine will give you the opportunity to maybe self-care. Yes, go out, do what you can do, but above all, don't let it end with Valentine.
Exactly. Even though you've actually said almost what I wanted to say, but I will still have something to say. All right. What's one positive affirmation you like to remind yourself of? And what are some activities you enjoy doing alone to recharge and relax?
Okay, so I guess I'll start from the last question you asked, which I had already mentioned. While I was growing up, for whatever reason, I used to hate the television because I used to believe that television is a sheer waste of time. And this motivational thing that we used to hear when we were growing up, people that watch TV never get to be on TV. So every time I stand in front of the TV, I'm always feeling like I'm wasting my time, right? But over time, I've come to discover that when you manage some of this self-care outlets well, they can actually serve you better. So some of the things that I love to do, I love to see movies. My children laugh at me because I can see a movie for a month. I see 20 minutes today, I see 10 minutes tomorrow. So they'll say, mommy, you've been watching this movie for the past 1 month. But whether I've been watching it for the past 1 month or not, I enjoy seeing good movies. I tell you, then I like to go out. I like to see new places. I like to visit new places. So then you ask me the affirmation that I love most. Okay, so oh God, I like to tell myself that I'm beautiful, right? That I'm beautiful, I'm bold, and I'm strong. And I think one of the reasons why I like that affirmation is because most times we always want to hear the good words from other people. We want people to validate us before we believe in ourselves. So, but I've grown in life to realize that those words might never come. And when they come, it might not come when you need it. But if I have myself tell myself this every time, I can always get the motivations that I need. So, Motolani, you're beautiful, you're bold, and you're strong.
That is lovely. That is beautiful. All right. Edward, do you have anybody to ask a question? Do you have any question to ask any of us?
Um,
Okay, so while Edward is preparing his question, I can still ask Abigail some questions.
Okay, I think
Are
I
you there?
should be
Okay.
asking
Please go ahead, Edward.
you. All right.
Go ahead, Edward. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, you know, you. Can you tell what's the most romantic gesture you have ever received or given? Or let's not say given. What's the romantic gesture you, Abigail, have ever received? Did you
Abigail,
get
that
me?
question is for.
I think I've
Yeah.
answered it.
Okay, maybe I should help you answer it.
I've answered it. The one I said that a guy gave me a coat.
Gave you what? Okay,
A coat. When I was feeling cold.
Let me help
Yes.
you. I think I will help you.
I think you're about to ask the most awkward date I've ever been on.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you that
What's
one so that the gist, you can get the gist very well.
Okay.
Who goes on a date and order eba with egusi soup?
Well, for a guy or for a lady?
All right, I was coming from work. I was tired. And then he picked me. I've not gone home to eat. And I felt like eating something that is swallow and will hold my tummy well. We actually go to this nice 5-star restaurant, eatery. And I was well dressed. You wouldn't know that this girl was going to order eba. But it's not actually the random eba. Edward, no. It is not actually that eba that they used to turn anyhow. No. This eba is 5-star eba. Yellow gari. Yellow gari that they put in plate. That yellow gari with the transparent nylon over it and the soup. Oh, sweet Jesus. And then they were like, what will I love to eat? And I said, I called the waitress. I said, please, do you have eba, hot one, with egusi soup? And guy was like, did I hear this lady well? In my mind, let me answer you. And then she went, she said, oh, yes, ma, just give us 10 minutes. And then she did it. She brought it. Edward, you need to have tasted that soup.
Did you use your hand or you use fake?
And I actually used fake.
No, it's supposed to use hand now and complete the jara way you do for the guy.
I actually used
you supposed to use hand. So you want from traditional girl, you supposed to finish and put your hand inside the eba.
I actually used fake. And he was like, oh, let's get drink. He ordered his drink. And I told the lady, can I please get malt? And he was looking at it that this girl cannot form my hand 2 times. You have ordered it.
What was he expecting you to order?
I tire. He was not like, no, please get her origin. In my mind, I was like,
interesting.
In my mind, I was like, really? Like, really, really, really? I said, no, please, I would love malt. He was like, babe, it's just origin. It's little alcohol. He was thinking I will not be assertive enough. And I think this is where some people make mistake, trying to please somebody, and then they are not assertive. And it's they see themselves losing on their values and losing themselves in the process. And he was like, no, babe, I think you need origin. It or maybe smell of. I said no. Immediately my smile disappeared. I said no, I will go for malt. Thank you. As the lady was going, he wanted to say, how okay, just bring. I was like, waitress, please get me a can of malt.
And that reminds me, you continue that conversation because I'm enjoying it. That reminds me of something I saw on social media recently. And there was this guy, I really wish I can remember his name now, who was seemingly talking to some young ladies as regards Valentine. And then he was telling them about mistakes, categories of mistakes. And he said something about the fact that there are some mistakes that you can erase, and there are some mistakes that you cannot erase. For mistakes that you can erase, it's the one you make in class, you can use cleaner and clean it up. But there are certain mistakes that you make in life that the memory of those things linger in your life forever. And that's where this assertiveness thing comes in when we talk about Valentine. A lot of people want to explore things, want to, break some rules tomorrow, but then I think this is coming from us to you, that you don't need to break your rules to enjoy Valentine.
Exactly.
You don't need to feel among to enjoy Valentine. You can't be assertive as Abigail was, standing true to what she wants and ensuring that she was not making a mistake that her future or her tomorrow was not going to be grateful for. Thumbs up there, Abigail. Over to you.
Thank you. And I actually got mold. And I think maybe he was thinking maybe if I had gotten origin, I'll be a little tipsy and we could drive home. And as we were driving, I said, I'm highlighting at the junction to my house. It was caught off balance. It was like, wow. In my mind, I was like, guy, no be original drink, now malt. My sense, they work way. I get clear eyes.
Yeah, I agree with you, Abigail, Motala, Tayo, um, on that advice. Today, festive period like Valentine are when a lot of young persons indulge in different acts. Okay, I'm in a university environment, and right now it's Valentine period. And when you say Valentine, you find out that this young lads 17, 18, 19 are planning things. Some this when they'll be introduced. Yes, that's pathetic. Some this when they'll be introduced to taking of drugs of different sorts. And some will be introduced to illicit sex, unprotected children, which may result to something
by November
something
next year.
So yes. So being assertive this period by these young ones, it's a very good point. And every young person listening to this program this period should take note. Be it Valentine, be it any other festival, both national or international, they should be assertive of their own mental health. Mental health is paramount to us. We should take care of our health. We don't leave it to the hands of others. That's a nice one. Yeah.
And to support that, I think everyone should learn to do you. When you are so big on doing you and being you, you wouldn't want to cast your self-confidence and self-worth on people's validation of you. So even if you are the only one who is not succumbing to it, in as much as you are doing you, there is this quote I love a lot, even though I don't know it's unknown. It says, if you get to a point in which you don't know what else to do, and you don't know what else to pick your mental health. Pick your mental health. I believe if a whole lot of people out there come to this position in which, regardless of Valentine, regardless of love in the air, what they focus on is their mental health. I think things will get better in the field of clinical psychology.
Yeah,
things will get better in the field of clinical psychology.
I think I want us to also focus a little bit on people who are married. And I think I can see a question here that reads that how has your perspective on love and relationships changed over the years? And I think I want to direct that question to Edward. How has your perspective on love and relationships
changed over the years?
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you for that question. You see, because it's true love, we grow in love together. It has created unity and give me a perception of oneness with my partner. I see things in different lights, and we communicate. She's like a partner where if I'm troubled or I have any difficult thoughts, I bring it down to the table and we delegate on it. Yes, quite okay. Love itself is selfless.
I'm here.
Love. Okay. Sorry for that. Love itself is selfless. Okay. Over the years, I've gotten a perception of selflessness. So I don't do things because of me, but I do things now because of us. Okay. I do things because of us, which is one good thing that I believe has fostered our relationship to be strong because we are there for each other. And I employ every young person, even those who are already in a relationship. See beyond yourself.
Exactly.
Put the other person's, consider the other person's personality, the person's needs, above yourself in a way. So you sit down to actually delegate and relate. And when the communication is right, I bet you, excuse me, I bet
Okay.
you your love life will totally change. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Edward. Adding to what he said about perspective on love, I tell you it's true. While I was growing up, well, maybe because I have a little foundation in literature, that's art
Yeah.
class. There were so many novels that went around then, where you will read about what love is, and then all that you see on the TV is the romantic side of love. And then you think that when you get into marriage, all that you'll be telling yourself morning, afternoon, and night is just you'll be eating love and drinking love. But I'm grateful that somehow maybe I grew up asking questions from people who had gone ahead of me. And I saw that, yes, romance is part of love. Friendship, togetherness is part of love. But beyond that, love is work. Right? I was interviewed recently on the TV station, and one of the things that I said that the next generation should work on is having that perspective that when you get your marriage certificate, you are getting an appointment for a new role, for a new job. So you are not expecting to get into something that in 2 weeks you are coming to us and you say you're tired, right? Yeah. So it's not a perfect situation. Your husband is coming from a different background. You are coming from a different background. The experiences that formed yourself and your husband over the years are definitely different. So your school of thought is not expected to be all the same. So one of the things that I would want us to hold as a perspective of love, even as we celebrate Valentine, is forgiveness. Forgiveness is key. Take this Valentine. If you've offended your husband, offended your wife, get a flower, go on your knees, propose. Like, ask your wife to remarry you.
And I think that's really cute.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if there's something you've done for your wife, that you feel I've not treated her well enough, this is a time to renew vows. This is a time to understand that love is actually not because the other person is perfect. Love is something that you give selflessly, not expecting anything in return.
This is really,
Yeah,
really
I
true.
quite agree with you. It's actually selfless.
Yeah.
You know, a period where people reconcile your things, look down and communicate actually. Know what the lady wants, because for sure, ladies, I agree, or you may agree with me that your wants change in time.
Mm.
You agree with me on that?
We didn't get that.
I said you will agree with me that your wants or needs change over time.
Definitely.
You may need
Definitely,
this.
Edward.
And I don't think
Yeah,
it is gender bias.
make
It's
it
not
happen.
only to ladies, it also includes men. So you will say,
So
generally, to the human being,
communication, will make, yeah, communication will make the celebration of love be
Yeah.
meaningful. Okay,
True.
because probably the man was thinking in the past, okay, she used to like flowers, whereas now you don't
Not be flower, she go shop. Oh.
but your
like
network is
flowers. You are
glitching.
paying flowers. Love is not communicated anymore because you want to try something new. You spice, kind of spice your relationship. Yeah, that's it.
And Edward is actually right. Mutolani too is right on it. So I think I'm gathering the pieces together. We're going to say, just as some tribe will say, is it only okra you want to be eating? Won't you eat vegetable? You don't need to go out there to get vegetable. Spice it up. I believe by spicing it up, love, forgiveness, because a whole lot of times we carry the burden that is not for us. We carry the burden that that we should have let go. With spicing it up, forgiveness and selflessness. It shouldn't be only about you alone.
Yes, sir.
It's not just you in the boat. Though you are the head of the family, you are the captain of the ship. But you know that journey in that ship with you alone is not going to be as interesting as joining in that ship with your cabin members. So see your family as your cabin members. Treat them well. And I think tomorrow is going to be a very special day for those who would want to pick these tips and make it beautiful. Maybe to those who are contemplating divorce, we never can tell. They might listen to this, get things right, seek therapy, heal, become the best version of themselves. Now, to those who are just joining now, I welcome you to the show. We're about rounding off, which is anchored by Ficus Trust. Yeah, which is anchored by Ficus Trust. And with me on the show is Edward. Edward is our allergy in the house. With also is he's actually not disputing it. He's a northerner. So even if I choose to call him an allergy, he's not disputing it. So with me, beside me is Mrs. Motolani, a clinical psychologist, and my humble self, Abigail Lasende, also a clinical psychologist. The male in the house, Edward Stephen Ozokede, a clinical psychologist. And you'll be wondering, why is it only a show of clinical psychologists? Dear listeners, if you would love to be on the next show, why not? We would love to host you on the next show and make it, we will spice it up. It will not be only okra. We'll put vegetable to it. All right, thank you.
Okay, so I think we're about ending the show, right?
Yes, we are.
But just before we end the show, I said something here that really brought a smile to my face. It says, what's the best love song that never fails to make you smile? Edward, do you want to share your best love song that never failed to make you smile? You're smiling already. Anyway. Edward, you're thinking, no.
Wait, Edward, are you actually thinking? Oh, you can't hear us.
No, it's thinking.
Hello, Edward, can you hear us?
Okay, I think we lost him a little bit there. There's actually one particular song rolling in my mind. Okay, I think he wants to say something. Edward, are you there?
Get the question. What did you just? Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you now.
So
Can you
I
hear
was
me?
saying, yes, we can hear you now. So I was saying that just before we wrap up the show.
I said I didn't really get the question.
Okay, so I said just before we wrap up the show, what's the best love song that never fails to make you smile? Okay, so I think Edward can't still seem to hear what we're saying.
Are you actually signed?
I think yeah, the 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 love song that make me smile.
Okay, so I guess Edward's network is singing itself.
Forgotten
An incoming call or something to his
artist,
device.
but I can mind the song. It says yeah.
You must sing for
Did
your
you
wife
get me?
tomorrow morning, Edward.
You get
Can
me?
you continue the song, please?
Okay, My Love by Westlife. Have you heard it? I can sing it for you if you want.
Well, his network is breaking. I'm not sure his network will be able to allow him sing. Okay, so there's one particular song rolling in my heart, and it's a song by Timmy Takolo. It's in Yoruba version. It has a Yoruba version chorus, but I'd rather do the English version. Okay, so if you're at home and you know the song, you can join me. It says, like the music in my world, without you, no one else will do. Through thick and things, I know we will make it through. Girl, I wanna leave my whole world around you. So I promise you forever and for always. Girl, you are my sunshine, baby. Don't you go away. Ìyàwó mi, da da da, oh, family. Oremi Alayomi, I will love you forever. Ìyàwó mi, olólùfẹ́ mi, ọ̀rẹ́ mi Alayomi, say I will love you forever. My sugar, my honey, my lover, I will love you forever. So yeah, you need to pay me for that song, right? Oh no, you paid to me that Kulu. But that's my own verse from my remix, right? All right. Okay, so over to you, Abigail.
What's the question?
Okay, so I thought we were rounding up the show with the song, but notwithstanding, if
let me say my song. My song. You see this song? Right Next to You. Chris Brown featuring Justin Bieber.
Okay.
My listeners, you can bear me witness that song will make you drool and smile. But if you're listening to this song and you're unable to drool and smile, possibly maybe you are in a toxic relationship, please don't hesitate to reach out to a clinical psychologist. And if you think you've lost self-esteem, self-worth, self-confidence, you've lost who you are, you no longer know the definition of who you are, please reach out for therapy. Therapy, people will say, oh, therapy is for those who are sick in the mind. No, it's just like going to the hospital because you are not feeling fine and you need a professional to attend to you. The same way you speak to a clinical psychologist because you are having difficulty interacting with yourself, interacting with your environment, taking the right decisions, or with your behavior, your attitude. So please reach out to a clinical psychologist. All right. Mine is right next to you. I would have loved to play the song, but let me see if I can read the lyrics. I will just read it. You've got that smile that only heaven can make. I pray to God every day that you keep that smile. You are my dream. There's not a thing I won't do. I'll give my life up for you because you are my dream. And baby, everything that I have is yours. You'll never go cold or hungry. I'll be there when you're insecure. Let you know that you're always lovely, girl. Complete it for me.
How come all the song has girls in them? Ìyàwó, girls, wives. And the girls not singing for the boys, or the women are not singing for their husband. Okay, so while we are still on that note, I hope Edward will still be able to join us. It looks like we lost him to the network at some point, but really he's been contributing a great lot, a whole lot to the conversation tonight. And I saw one conversation here that I would like us to take up and perhaps maybe end the show with. It says, how do you think love and connection contribute to mental health and well-being? How do you think love and connection contribute to mental health and well-being? And I think one of the things I want to say before I throw the ball to Edward and Abigail is that research has even shown it, and even from work experience, we have discovered that clients, patients alike who have good social connection or social support usually recover better and faster than those who do not have that kind of social support and connection. So in no little way, I tell you, love is a kind of social support, is a kind of social touch that we can leverage on when it comes to mental health. So whether you're receiving love or you're giving love at Valentine, just know this, that you're helping your mental health and you're helping somebody's mental health and their entire well-being. What do you have to say about that, Abigail?
Yeah, you're right. And I also want to include that love is not only by words. It's not until you open your mouth and say, I love you. Words without action actually can give a headache. Little care here and there, concern here and there, support here and there. Even if you don't have money to give to that person you love, I believe with support, the right support, with care, being intentional with the little thing you have and you can provide, that is love. Your love language, you should be able to know what your love language is. You should be able to know the love language of your partner. And also, you should be able to know that a little care, a little sharing here and there, we go a long way to the mental health and healing of someone out there. So I'll just leave you with this. Be kind to everyone.
Yeah. I don't know if Edward has something to say across there.
Yeah. Just as I said, a little care, a little cheer, a little checking on someone to change the life of an individual. So as we go out there this period as each and every one of us, caring for others, just even asking someone, how do you do, make a difference. Don't ignore anyone around your neighborhood, your workplace, just be open to just greet someone can actually change the thoughts. Just asking someone, how are you today, may actually help the person, you know, come back to normality. That's all I want to say for now.
Thank you, Edward.
And please speak out. Talk to a professional, talk to a therapist. We have had people who come to therapy and then tell us, you are a lifesaver. You're a lifesaver. I tell you, there's power in speaking out. Don't don't suffer alone. You don't have to walk alone. Please speak out. Don't go through it alone. And I can tell you, this is brought to you by Miku Wright and then by clinical psychologists telling you, you don't need to take your life. You don't need to, be all there withdrawn, isolated. Please speak out and talk to a professional.
Thank you so much. And thank you to the listeners. And as we close the curtain, we'll introduce ourselves once again, just in case you lost the part in which we introduced ourselves. All right, Edward, can you introduce yourself once again to the listeners as we wrap up the discussion?
Right. Thank you. As we wrap up, it says, a mouth closed is a destiny shut. So when you speak out, you'll be able to be helped, access help from professionals. Yeah, once more, my name is Edward Stephen Ozakide. I'm a clinical psychologist and I work in Admiralty University, Delta State. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward, for being on the show with us. And beside me is
I'm Motolani Akintayo. People call me MC Motolani, the clinical psychologist. I'm currently the managing director for Diamond More Psychological Consult in Nigeria. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
You're welcome, and thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
And if you've heard about Bellwet's Mind Clinic, this is actually the face behind Bellwet's Mind Clinic. I'm the lead therapist and founder of Bellwet's Mind Clinic, and a clinical psychologist. And it's beautiful to have clinical psychologists on the show too, not just to talk about therapy, but to talk about the reality of the season. And this show was anchored by Ficun Trust. You could check them up on website ficuntrust.com and on Facebook, Well and Wealthy Woman. And I'm going to leave you with this. You, you can't give what you don't have. A broken cistern cannot give a clean water. So if you know that you are going through pain, if you know that you need help, you only need to be true to yourself. You might deceive every other person out there by smiling and pretending to be fine, but you know you can't deceive yourself. So if you need help, if you need to speak to someone, please reach out to a clinical psychologist. Know that your story is safe and nobody is going to stigmatize you. All right, again, thank you, everyone. If you have questions, please drop your questions in the comment section, and be rest assured that the responses will be communicated to you. Thank you. Bye for now.
Happy Valentine.
Oh yes, and then I'm going to wrap it. Let me close it with this my loveless song. Let me see if it's going to be that loud. All right, Edward, can you tell the audience bye? Okay, I think.
Yeah. Right. Once more. Bye, everyone. Take care of yourself.
All right. Bye. Enjoy. And happy Valentine once again.